Namaste, angels. Today is March 20th. The sun entered Aries. Venus and Mercury are conjunct. Also, they are each in Aries as well. And it's the spring equinox, first day of spring. So I figured, what better day? I know that the Pisces new moon, the day that it occurred, has passed, and I didn't do my new moon reading for that day. But I don't know. I was just moved to do one instead that was encompassing today and then the 2 weeks to come, surrounding the Pisces new moon. So I think I told you guys my feelings on what the new moon was going to be about in last week's general reading. The reading for, I think it was the 10th through the 17th. I went on quite a bit about what I felt the moon was going to bring. But I also want to reiterate that while we should be having some really amazing dreams, whether they're while we're asleep or awake or both, and making plans and goals, like dreaming really, really big, some of the things we're not going to want to implement because concurrently we will be experiencing Mercury retrograde. But we'll also be experiencing this really wonderful energy of the vernal equinox and spring. So I want to do a reading that like sort of encompasses all of those. And that's what this will be the next 2 weeks ahead, behind, surrounding or behind these energies. Beginning with the dice and romantic dinner. Buy shoes. And try again. Also, I just saw 29, like it jumped out at me, so that may be a factor for some too. Speaking of 29, here it is. 29. Stay in bed. And no. First, I'm going to go to findyourfate.com to quickly go over what Mercury retrograde is about. So it says, no planet in the universe can actually turn retrograde. A retrograde planet is just the result of an optical illusion. All the planets turn around the sun. Relative from our point of view on Earth, it appears sometimes that a planet will stop and then go backwards. And this is called the retrograde motion. And then it stops again and goes forward. And this is called the direct motion. During the year of 2018, Mercury goes retrograde for 3 times, and those are March 22nd through April 15th, which is tax day in the United States too. It's all in the fire sign of Aries. July 25th through August 18th in 2018 as well, in the fire sign of Leo. And lastly, November 16th through December 6th of this year, 2018, from the fire sign of Sagittarius into the water sign Scorpio. And aren't those like some of the really major ones that we've been dealing with even over the past few weeks? Since the year started, these have been very prevalent, not inclusive of the air and earth signs that have also been particularly active this year. All right, so that said, Mercury goes retrograde 3 times every year. As it slows down before the retrograde period, we call it pre-retrograde. I call it the shadow when it's approaching, but they're calling it pre-retrograde. Mercury starts losing power then, and hence new ventures cannot do well in this period. Then there is post-retrograde, when Mercury picks up or gains speed, but is still moving slowly enough to cause a slow progress in the projects that are undertaken. So like when it's in shadow again, after it goes direct, things should be better, but they can still be slow moving as well, is what it's saying here. During the Mercury retrograde period, it is best advised not to venture into any new territory and to stay put. Actually, Mercury keeps going around the sun, always in the same direction, and more or less at the same speed. Knowing the Mercury retrograde periods, however, can help you to plan your ventures in advance so that they need not go off track. So again, I'm going to say dream big, huge, and make plans, you know, what you want for your future, and based on what's going on in your present and what you've experienced in the past and what you've learned from it. But if it requires actual implementation and maybe the signing of a contract or something, those are things you may not want to do until at least the 16th of April. That said, I'm going to begin with a spread in these two people. And you know what? I want to point out before I forget, I use the Angel Tarot deck. If I use this, I'll be beginning with the Two of Air. If I use the Animal Tarot deck, I'll also be beginning with the Two of Air. Also, upon opening each of these decks to shuffle on my own, just, you know, private, before, as I get ready for a reading, I do that. I open to the Three of Water. So maybe particularly a Pisces with this Pisces new moon thing. I mean, for some of us, it's going to be about like deciding whether or not to engage with certain people and to be social. And maybe because this kind of thing is going on, it may be whether or not to say something, perhaps not from a negative standpoint, but like whether or not to fill somebody in on something that they need to know. That can be what these decisions are about. Whether or not to forgive someone who has gossiped about you or believed something that was said about you rather than confront you and speak to you directly, you know, as to find out what was going on. But for others, it has to do, I'm feeling with this, not being social as it relates to the Three of Cups, but party of three as it relates to the Three of Cups, very possibly involving a water sign, and maybe more specific to that, Pisces or Scorpio. Maybe not so much Cancer. Although I'm not ruling that out. I'm just saying like more likely Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, in that order. And deciding whether or not to continue that and how to break the news. For some, it may be nasty, and we might see that play out in the cards. You know, you guys know I have no problem throwing my reputation on the line and saying whatever I have to say, whatever I feel, you know, needs to be said before I do anything. So again, I'm beginning with gossip. I'm going to do a spread, one of my cross spreads from the perspective of the universe, beginning with this card and opening to Courting Man. Gossip. And in past life. Gossip. They're showing me Twin Flame. But also Beauty Queen. This is about confidence, esteem. And also Brunette Female. She is upside down. Let me turn her right side up. And this is, of course, if those of you who watch me are familiar already, the representation in this particular deck for me of the quote-unquote karmic sort of female or feminine energy. Can be an actual person. When it tends to be a Leo or a Cancer, or a Leo Cancer cuspian. But of course can be anybody as well. Gossip and work. Work, effort, could have something to do with pentacles, finances, material things, and or earth signs. Today, the day on which I'm doing this reading, there's a Taurus moon that could be playing a factor, and coming to family. So another 3 people. This constitutes a party of 3 as well. Overall energy is gifts, an increase in psychic gifts, I think is what this is about. I also talked about that when I talked about what the psychic new moon would bring, the Pisces new moon would bring from my perspective. Divine couple, recent past, near future, masculine's higher self. Oh, another one dropped here on near future. I'm going to leave it. It just jumped out by itself. Blocks to the union. The feminine can do, the masculine can do. Further advice from the universe. the outcome. Boom. Union. This is representing the divine couple. So we're off to an awesome start. The recent past, the karmic female. So in many cases, she's done. That's the party of three that was in the way. It isn't. For some, it's a romantic. It was a romantic triangle. For others, this was just some other karmic energy and or actual person, perhaps specifically a female, that was in the way one way or another. Could be a gossipy friend. That's all you need to botch things up. The near future, past life, and mature woman. And healing in that regard, with Raphael suddenly passing behind me. I do feel that this is healing a past relationship, and it's very much connected to Jupiter retrograde and Jupiter going back or appearing to travel backward and revisiting some of these things based on karma, right? Jupiter, the planet of karma and expansion. Masculine's higher self. Courting man is back. What the feminine can do. Friendship, for some of these, we'll be healing a friendship. And for some, we got to get away from somebody. This is, again, involving the, bochinche. Gossip, yeah, but, well, I'll leave it at gossip. What the masculine can do. Young male sitting here next to his mature woman. That's what he can do. For many of us, this is literal. There is a very real, what they call May-December relationship. For others, there are different differences. They're cultural, they're racial, they're, based on ideology, politics, all kinds of things. But the masculine can face them. Further advice from the universe. This is about traveling back to. It's very much connected to, again, the Jupiter retrograde, and where there is distance, to close it. Blocks to the union may be related to that. Let's see what this is about. It's about money. Money may have been a factor in the distance. Maybe there's physical travel that had to take place and hasn't been able to. Blocks to the union. Money. Could be an earth sign that was getting in the way, but I'm feeling, for the most part, it's actual money. Maybe the amount of work that one does. So not that they necessarily couldn't afford, but that they're always working. And so that was a block as well. Some of us with more than one job. And it causes separation. I never see you. You're always at work. So that's been the block. Outcome, true love. We're going to work it out. We're going to work it out. And this, not only Pisces new moon and the spring equinox and what that will bring, the new lighthearted, bright, positive energy, but also, again, the Jupiter retrograde, which is also concurrent to the rest of what's going on right now. And maybe because we're able to pay attention to our intuition a lot better, our gifts have been increased, our spiritual gifts have been increased. And so we're not maybe following gossip in the street or even in our own head, like clutter and making up stuff. We're not following that so much as we are listening to and observing what's real and what we know to be real. Because that's all that matters. That's your reality, is what is. And maybe that's how we're getting to this. So I'm going to go to the Angel Tarot again, beginning with the Two of Air. Being unable or unwilling to make a decision, a stalemate, pretending there's no problem. This is like being not acting, not taking action, like in hopes that the situation will just go away by itself if you don't. Opening to the Queen of Earth. Remember I said it may involve an earth sign or actual money. I didn't mention it could be Venus too as the Queen of Earth. Thoughtful, creative, warm, and sensible is the Queen of Earth. Make time for those around you. Take a sensible approach and deal with challenges in a kind and understanding manner. Two of Air. Opening to the Two of Water, a relationship that continues to grow closer. Forgiveness and the positive resolution of a conflict. So like I was saying, forgiveness for things like gossiping and breaking up relationships and breaking up friendships and all that kind of stuff. The feminine had that card, friendship, as far as what they could do. And I definitely felt that that's what it had to do with healing relationships or deciding to be forever like done with them. And maybe when you do that, that's the end. Either way, that's the end of the difficulty that you've been having and the betrayal and the backstabbing, maybe that these friends or relations caused to you. The end of a difficult situation. Embrace the change and expect things to get better. Somebody may even be recovering from an addiction. The addiction might be substance abuse, but in general, it's codependency. Like whether you're codependent upon someone or something, or they are upon you, and it's a toxic situation. It's the end of that. Ten of Air. And open to the King of Fire is motivational, idealistic, ambitious, and charismatic. Focus, focus, focus. Communicate with vision and be a leader. Take advice from someone creative. King of Fire is an Aries. Or perhaps a Scorpio, sharing the same ruler with Aries, Mars. Or a Leo or Sagittarius. Or it can be Mars itself or Jupiter. Mars currently in Capricorn. Jupiter, again, currently in Scorpio. And not only in Scorpio, but retrograde in Scorpio. And coming to the world with Archangel Michael. A job well done, joy, contentment, and gratitude in the path toward enlightenment. The world for me is also about a potential party of three and the fact that it is coming to an end. And it's coming to the end in part because the universe stepped in. So maybe something like a planet like Jupiter affected us, stepped in. And based on karma and life lessons that we've learned by now, the universe is saying, okay, it's been long enough. You're not exiting this situation on your own. Let me help you out. And let me begin to pull you out of the situation. And it eases us out. And at one point, at some point, sometimes we like realize, oh, I'm being removed from the situation. And then once we realize that, we want out so bad that we try to like rush it. The patience can be required with the energy of the world. It's similar to the Tower in that the universe is stepping in, but it's not as abrupt. So it's definitely an easing out. So easing out of a toxic relationship, easing out of a toxic friendship, or that's a relationship too. Easing out of a toxic, job, work situation, family situation, home environment, living situation, all that kind of stuff. Overall energy is the Knight of Earth. Loyal, dedicated, honorable, and kind is the Knight of Earth. Honor, it's time to buckle down and get things done. Honor your commitments. You have a guardian angel. The Knight of Earth is perhaps a Taurus. I mentioned that today is a Taurus moon. Or a Capricorn. I mentioned Mars, the planet of action, and the masculine planet of love is in Capricorn. Can also be a Virgo. Mercury, not only ruler of Gemini, Mercury, which is retrograde during this period, not only ruler of Gemini, but also ruler of Virgo. This can be about money or the material coming your way too during this period. But again, it might require some patience because the Knight of Earth energy is very slow and steady, wins the race. To the positive and to his credit, he always reaches his goal. The Knight of Earth is always successful. But it can take some time and requires some patience. Masculine is crowned by the Six of Air. Things are looking up. It's the end of a difficult situation, just like the 10 of Air, signified. So we may even be taking a trip. This can be about vacations. because it's about movement and moving. It can be about moving too, physically, metaphorically, whatever the case is for you. One way or another, you know, either way, it results in a more peaceful time for you. You see this boat is in like calm waters. There are no waves or anything, very still waters. And I think that the 10 horses that maybe were guilty of the betrayal, they're in the background there. And they're all like restless and stuff. And this one is at peace, if you can see it. That's how you're going to be. Masculine surrounded by that 2 of air, however, being unable or unwilling to make a decision. A stalemate. Pretending there's no problem. It will not go away. You will have to take action at some point. Or the universe will pull you out of the situation. Like take the choice away from you and begin to act for you. In the masculine subconscious, the 3 of earth, the power of creativity, recognition for very high quality work, be a team player. So I said in the other spread, when money showed up, I said it can be an earth sign or it can be actual money. And that's indicative of this as well. Could be some sort of party of 3 involving an earth sign, maybe something at work, a decision about work, whether or not to take a job and move forward, maybe move higher in the company or move on to a new company, leave this job. It can have to do with a relationship at work, whether it's a friendship or a romantic relationship. You met somebody at work. Do I get involved with them or do I not? Am I okay moving on in that sort of situation? 3 of earth, whatever it represents, whether it's a relationship or actual money or material things, it's abundant or ascension. Could be ascension too, elevation personally, because it's about promotion. But it is that you earned. So the universe recognizing you and giving you this as a blessing because you've earned it, not just somebody's doing you a favor or, you know, to be nice. Similar to maybe like the 6 of earth. That's out of kindness and, you know, unconditional love. This is, you know, you're getting it because you deserve it, because you earned it. Counting the feminine, it's the 9 of fire. Don't give up. Protect that which you've created. Have courage and believe in yourself. This is about perseverance. Keep going, feminine, even though some of us are weary. Keep pushing. You got it in you. We're surrounded by the 5 of earth, which can be about lack and worry. Both, again, financial, material, metaphorical. As it relates to relationships, I connect this to like fear of abandonment, fear of commitment. And there's Raphael again with the sirens, and more need for healing in all of these areas, whether it's your finances, your material wealth, or your relationships. In the feminine subconscious, the 10 of air. It's the end of a difficult situation. Embrace the change and expect things to get better now. You may even be recovering from an addiction. And we have this mirroring the masculine 6 of air. I just mentioned the 10 of air as it related to the 6 of air, both about moving into a much more peaceful place and out of difficulty. Just like the storm is over. Crowning. The Emperor with Archangel Michael, organization and logic, structure and discipline and leadership. The Emperor represents the planet Mars for me, and therefore the signs of Aries and Scorpio. Can be a father figure, can be an actual father, can be some sort of authority that you have to face. Can be the need to just get your life in order and a push to do that. With the air sitting next to it, this can be about the fact that to your betterment, particularly for on the side of the masculine here, where the 6 of air is showing up. This is Venus and or Mercury in Aries, helping to push you in a more positive direction, and maybe to take action. Remember I said the 2 of air is like you need to make a decision, but you're at a stalemate according to this. So that's non-action. But Mars is the planet of action. It's saying get into gear. And maybe as it relates to a party of 3, or again, the decision involving work, career. At the root, the 7 of air, plans that need revision, more going on than meets the eye, and poor timing. 7 of air is the energy of joy stealing for me. It can be a lack of confidence in oneself, fear, ego, low self-esteem, worry, distrust. Maybe because of gossip, maybe because of betrayal, maybe because of backstabbing. In the actual, on the regular tarot, the Rider-Waite, for example, there's a man laying flat on his face, right, with his back up. And there's 10 daggers in his back. He has literally been stabbed in the back. That's what the Ten of Air is. So this can be the person who did it. Sometimes actual thievery is involved, not just taking of a person's positive energy, a person's joy, not just being an energy vampire, but actual thievery of material things. Your stuff disappearing. The heart of the matter. The wheel with Archangel Michael, a time of positive change. The situation suddenly moves forward and fortune is on your side. The wheel represents the planet Jupiter for me. Jupiter, ruler of Sagittarius. Jupiter, again, currently in Scorpio, sitting here under the Emperor, which can also represent Scorpio. And connected to the fixed signs, which again would include Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, and Leo. I'm going to further clarify these with another tarot deck. It is the Animal Tarot, beginning again with the Two of Winter. Procrastination and worrying about what others will think is blocking you from making a decision. Remember, I showed you the differences, and when we know in the other spread between the masculine and feminine and what can be blocking. Right, those differences can be blocking him from taking action. He's guided to take action anyway. Make a decision. If you're torn between your own desires and someone else's, follow your inner guidance. Remember, you got those gifts. Use them. They're increased right now. Opening to the Six of Autumn. I talked about this card too. This is the unconditional love. Your success and prosperity have allowed you to pay off debts, acquire wise loans, or to receive a grant or scholarship in return for heaven's blessings. Be sure to share the wealth with others through donations of time or money to reputable charities. As it relates to relationships, for me, friendship or otherwise stronger romantic relationships, it's still about unconditional love. Being able to both give and receive without expectation of something in return or agenda. Two of Winter. And another wheel. Boom. Again, the planet Jupiter, ruler of Sagittarius, connected to Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius, Taurus. Expect a sudden positive change in your life. You can now move forward and make great progress. Two of Winter. And opening to Awakening, which represents the planet Neptune and Pisces, which it rules. Here's your Pisces new moon energy. Look at things in a different way and all will make sense. Don't worry if your progress is halted temporarily. Things will soon start moving again. Your progress might be halted maybe because of Mercury retrograde, right? So even you got all these wonderful plans, you've come up with all these dreams and hopes from the Pisces new moon. There's an air of suspension. There's a wait period. You can't take action quite yet. You're in limbo, but don't worry. Make the decision. You don't have to implement it yet, is what that means. Awakening on the Hangman again, and opening to the Queen of Spring. Don't underestimate your ability to manifest your dreams. All those dreams that you come up with under the Pisces new moon. You may have several priorities vying for your attention at once, but you can do it. The Queen of Spring. Spring, representing again today the spring equinox also, is a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, or maybe a Scorpio. And she is the divine feminine of the tarot as well. Awakening or the Hangman. Again, I'm going to cut. And it's the King of Autumn, compassionate, accomplished, charismatic, and grounded. Everything's going to turn out great. Projects will be stunningly successful. Exciting new career opportunities are possible, and money or resources that come your way, as well as relationships as well. All of it will be wise choices, invested wisely. I just opened to the Chariot. I'm not sure why, but I did. Major Arcana card number 7. Today is actually a 7. Today, the day on which I'm doing this reading, it's 322 equals 7 equals God or spirituality. You can successfully balance various or opposing energies at once through determination and focus. You've earned the rewards and recognition that you are getting. You've earned it. Protect it. Overall energy is the 9 of autumn. Your success has brought you financial security and the reward of much deserved time off to enjoy your own company. You may suddenly have a brilliant idea for a business or self-employment opportunity that will be very successful. 9 of autumn can also be about being single. Maybe somebody, again, ended a party of 3 in this same suit of earth. Even where it's related to relationships, it is positive, as similar to like the court cards of the suit of autumn or earth or pentacles. It can be about the value, the worth, the significance of the relationship. As it relates to general energy, it's about a person spending time with themselves to get to know, get to like, and get to love themselves. Enjoy being with them. Atop the 6 of air, it's the 10 of autumn. This is what you're moving toward, masculine. Contentment comes from knowing that your finances are secure and your family's material needs are taken care of. It's important to honor traditions and to have pride in your heritage and the accomplishments of your ancestors. So some of you not only moving on to calmer, stiller waters, into a place of peace and security, tranquility too, like you feel comfortable. Some of you may be coming into a large sum of money with this particularly crossing the wheel of fortune. But the 10 of autumn or 10 of earth, 10 of pentacles can often be about coming into a large sum of money, some sort of settlement. Maybe it's your tax refund, or somebody has left you something, some sort of inheritance, or, maybe like a small lottery win or something like that. Atop the 2 of air, I told you as I was shuffling, it came up with the 3 of cups. And I went over several different meanings as to what that could be about. Here it is together again. You have an exciting reason to celebrate, such as an engagement, a wedding, graduation, or birth announcement. Remember to cherish those you love. So I won't rehash it all, but there's a decision to make, perhaps as it relates to being more social and spending time with friends and family, and or celebrating whether or not to accept some sort of proposal or something, or a party of 3. And atop the 3 of earth is the 8 of winter. So it can definitely have to do with feeling stuck in a party of 3 and needing to make a decision, or feeling stuck in the area of finances and material, and needing to be more positive about it because, better times are to come for you. It's so easy to convince yourself that you're trapped when you really aren't. Trust that God will lift you to new heights and give you a greater sense of confidence if you affirm your freedom from whatever this is that you feel is trapping you, about what you have to make a decision, whether it is, again, money, a job, the material, or a relationship. Atop the 9 of fire, you're guided to keep on pushing toward the Queen of Summer, who's compassionate, loving, giving, and psychic. This is a time of deep emotions and heightened intuition that you can trust completely. Be mindful that you don't ignore your own needs while caring for others. The Queen of Summer is a Scorpio, as it relates to the tarot, specifically the fixed signs are associated with the queens. But you can also be a Cancer or a Pisces, of course, or anyone likened to these traits or attributes. Here atop the 9 of fire and sitting next to the Emperor, she may even more so be a Scorpio, because again, Mars is a ruler of Scorpio. And this fire energy, this fire in her belly, could be pushing that. Also, another red planet or ruler of a red sign, of a fire sign, Jupiter, ruler of Scorpio, ruler of Sagittarius in Scorpio. So that can be a representation of that as well. In any case, this is about love. This is about emotion and or the heightening of psychic gifts, which again was to come with the Pisces new moon. Atop the 5 of earth, in this feeling of lack, worry, pessimism, doubt, is the Empress. It's time to hop into action. Use your natural creativity to bring forth prosperity and success in your life. This can have to do with a party of three yet again. But Major Arcana card, the Empress, most importantly, guides us to take a chance, a leap at a new opportunity that will be abundant for us. It represents the planet Venus for me, ruler of Libra and Taurus, and is about abundance. Venus, the planet of abundance, the goddess and planet of money and love, wanting to gift that to you. There's a new start in love. This is Pisces new moon as well. A new beginning under this water energy. Atop the 10 of air and what's coming to an end, this difficulty may have been, or the codependency may have existed between you and a close friend and or family member, perhaps a fire sign, and perhaps most specifically a Leo or Leo, Cancer, Cuspian. Occasionally, you may experience clashes with others. If you decide the matter is worth your energy, then do what you can to minimize the conflict without sacrificing your goals or beliefs. If you don't want to give your energy to energy vampires, do not. If it's not worth your energy, don't hand it over. Right? Be the emperor. You are in control. You don't have to relinquish your control to anybody else. That's the codependency. Cut that cord, break that, let it come to an end like it wants to, regardless of who this person is. And regardless of what that means. For some, again, it's going to mean ending a relationship, but for some, it's going to mean healing. Let your ego go, let your pride go, and make up with your friend. Even if there was distrust at one point, gossiping, backstabbing, betrayal, if you can come to a place where you're feeling like a new start is possible, make the new start. You got to let go of your pride to do that, though. Crowning atop the Emperor, it's the 3 of spring. So I told you, maybe a party of 3, that this represents this trouble here. And perhaps very well involving not only a fire sign, but a Leo more specifically. Stop to take time to review and make long-term plans, capitalizing on your past successes. It's appropriate to pat yourself on the back for all your accomplishments, but you may also need patience for the next phase to play out. So I've said this as well during this prayer. We might need some patience to be eased out of these situations, but they're going to be handled, right? We're organized. We're getting this together and getting our whole life at the same time, too. We don't really have a choice. We're being moved by the planet Mars to do that. And actually, our crowning energy and the energy down here sort of signifies this as well. With this 8 of winter, which is very, and it sits at the top of 3. The 8 of winter is very much like the quote unquote devil in the tarot for me, which represents the sign of Capricorn. Again, Mars currently in Capricorn. So the planet of action sitting in this zodiac of restriction and like being stifled and not being able to move. So that's going to buck. That's going to do this. At the root, atop the 7 of air, is the Queen of Air. All your life experiences have prepared you for this moment of truth. It's time to declutter your home, clear away situations that aren't working for you. There's Raphael again, too. And disengage from people who create more drama than happiness. That's what I just said. Like, pull away from these people. Pull away from these people. The Queen of Winter may be Venus, maybe Mercury, maybe an actual person in your life, a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra, or someone likened to those traits or attributes, maybe even a Virgo. Or a Taurus. Queen of Winter, Venus, rules Taurus. Potential Queen of Winter, Mercury, rules Virgo. At the heart of the matter, atop the wheel, is the 6 of spring. And this represents Jupiter for me, too. And it's about winning. So it's like winning atop winning. You may receive a promotion, be chosen for a scholarship, find out that you're singled out for a special recognition. You've done an amazing job. Remember, you earned it. And you deserve, I use these very words, you deserve the attention and what you're getting. So you, at the end of the day, it's all victorious if we follow the guidance and make the moves we're guided to take. I'm going to lastly do a little bit more clarification with the Doreen Virtue Romance Angels, beginning with forgiving and learning, which makes a lot of sense in this spread. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. And opening to wedding, this situation involves marriage.